Good evening. Welcome to the October 26, 2021, 6:15 p.m. open session meeting of the Ayer Planning Board. I'd like to read the paragraph from the governor. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, in accordance with Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, OML, public bodies otherwise governed by the OML are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate alternative means. This meeting will be live on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by joining Zoom, meeting ID 833-6548-0732, or by calling 929-205-6099. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Heather Hampson, Administrative Coordinator at hampson@ayer.ma.us, or 978-772-8220, extension 0145, prior to the meeting. Now I've been called to order. Our first item of general business is to approve the agenda. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz.
Seconded.
Thank you for the second, Ms. Murray. I'm going to ask if there's any discussion on the agenda, and I think there is. I have a point I'd like to make. The planning board had planned. I'd like to move the continued site plan review for 99 Fitchburg Road from farther out in the agenda up to be the first item we touch on this evening. The reason being is that we were unable to have a site walk today due to weather, and we're going to move this item to the next meeting. Am I correct, Mark?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and actually Sandra Guai is in the audience tonight, representing the applicant. So, you know, we could set the meeting date. I mean, the site visit date, and then she'll be all set.
Okay, great. So with that amendment, anybody else have anything to discuss on the agenda this evening? And is that amendment acceptable to the other members of the board?
Yes.
I'm seeing shaking heads,
Yes.
so I'll declare acceptable. Great. So moved and seconded, all in favor. Mr. Krantz, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Murray?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. So we'll start out with the continued site plan review for 99 Fitchburg Road. Mark, would you like to give us the quick update on this?
Yes, I emailed both town officials and the applicant and their representative, and it's looking like Monday, November 1st would be the best date for a site visit. And I was going to suggest keeping it in the morning as we would have had today, or perhaps 9 o'clock or 9:30 in the morning. And both the fire chief and Lieutenant Bob can be there. So that's, I think, very important.
Okay.
So, you know, if that's good with the planning board, we can set that, and Heather will need to put out a little notice of the site visit.
Okay.
9
Anybody
o'clock,
offhand?
Mark?
Excuse me?
9 o'clock?
Well, that's open to discussion.
Okay.
I was going to suggest 9 o'clock, but if people would like to tweak that a little bit, we could.
I'm open to November 1st at either 9 or 9:30 a.m. We'll determine that once the other players are consulted.
I'm good with that.
Great, thank you. So with that being said, Mr. Krantz, could we please have a motion to continue the site plan review to our next planning board meeting, which I believe is November
9th.
9th.
November
9th.
9th. Thank you.
Yeah, I
very
make a
much.
motion to continue the site plan review for 99 Fitchburg Road to our next scheduled meeting on November 9th.
Seconded.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz, for making the motion. Ms. Murray for the second. Any further discussion?
You-
Hearing none.
we
I'm
didn't
sorry,
hear-
Mr.
We didn't hear from Mr. King on Monday at 9.
That's good.
Okay.
Huh.
I missed it, sorry.
No,
I
you
think
were
I
right.
saw him shake his head, but yes, thank you.
And for Ms.
Sorry
Murray.
about that.
Okay.
Okay, so in order of pictures on the screen, Mr. Krantz, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Murray, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin, how do you vote?
Aye.
And Mr. King, your vote?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Thank you very much, Sandy.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your help.
Mhm. Okay, next
See you
on
Monday.
our agenda. I'm sorry. I am working with an older agenda.
No.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I found it. The continue. I'm sorry. I was looking for the athletic fields piece. Mr. Krantz, could we please have motions to continue the?
Make a do
Thank
you
you.
want it to the next meeting or the December 14th? Next meeting?
Next meeting, we have to keep carrying it each meeting.
Okay, all right, got it. Yes.
But I would like to make a
Point of-
little bit
yeah.
of a point before we do that.
Exactly.
Mark,
Between the last two meetings, we did receive a letter from Attorney Collins requesting that the planning board next take up the active public hearing on December 14th for all the Stratton Hill matters.
Yes, I was
Yeah.
going to ask the chairman to read that into the record.
The letter from Attorney Collins?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't have a copy in front of me, Mr. Diskin. I'm sorry.
Or somebody.
I'm happy to pull it up. Mark, do you have a copy of his letter?
I actually am at home and I left my
Okay,
big file at home. I could look it up in the emails, but
I'm looking at it. I'm looking out for it
I
right
have
now.
a copy of it in front of me if you guys want.
I have a copy.
Great. Mr. King, do you mind giving it a read?
Yes, this is the letter
Mr.
dated.
Krantz, do you mind, Mr. King, reading in your stead?
Not at all, because I don't have a copy either, so that.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, Mr. King.
All right, to the Ayer Planning Board dated October 13th, 2021 regarding Stratton Hill subdivision, Wright Road. Dear board members, the project in Groton, which has caused the ongoing scheduling conflict, is finally nearing the end of its approval process. Stan Dillis and I will be meeting with the Ayer Conservation Commission on October 28 and November 18. I believe the commission should have the recommendation the bylaw requires to the planning board by late November. Accordingly, may I respectfully request that the hearing be continued to the board's first meeting in December. Please also consider this letter as a request that the time by which the board must complete its hearing and file a decision on this matter be extended until January 31, 2022. Thanking the board for its time and consideration, I remain very truly yours, Robert L. Collins.
Thank you, Mr. King, for reading that into the record. With that done, anything else we should take care of, Mark, before we have Mr. Krantz make the motions?
Mark.
No, I believe we're fine. Under planning update, I was going to discuss setting a discussion of possible consultants for November 9th. Something which I'd like, we might want to consider posting in the agenda so that the abutters know that we may discuss both the traffic consultant and possibilities of other consultants.
Okay, well, let's take it up during your town planner update this evening, and possibly in the future, you can add that to the agenda. We do want to remain as transparent as possible and have as much input as possible from the abutters. Mr. Krantz, please do your magic, sir.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to continue the public hearing for the definitive subdivision, Wright Road, Stratton Hill, to our next meeting on November 9th.
Seconded.
Thank you for the second, Ms. Murray. Any discussion? It's been moved and seconded. No discussion. Mr. Krantz, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Murray, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Thank you. Mr. Krantz?
I'd like to make a motion that we continue the public hearing for the stormwater management permit, Wright Road, Stratton Hill, until our next scheduled meeting, November 9th.
Seconded.
Moved by Mr. Krantz, seconded by Ms. Murray. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Krantz, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Murray, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin, your vote, please.
Aye.
And Mr. King?
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Mr. Krantz.
I'd like to make a motion to continue the site plan review, air zoning bylaw, section 9.6, land clearing and grading for Wright Road, Stratton Hill at our next meeting, November 9th.
Seconded.
Thank you for the second, Ms. Murray. Any discussion from the board? Hearing none, Mr. Krantz, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Murray,
Aye.
Mr. Diskin,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
chair votes aye. Thank you very much. We will be, as Mark said, discussing some of the logistics and we have to do for that as this upcoming work later during the town planner update. Next on our agenda is a discussion for the Ayer Shirley Regional High School Athletic Fields project. Mark Wetzler from the Department of Public Works will be joining us for this. I have just been informed that he had a power failure in Reading. And so Mr. Wetzel is doing his best, waiting for his system to reboot. Given that we've got a nor'easter and he's closer to the coast than we are, I have a feeling we might have to be patient for Mr. Wetzel. The other thing we have on our docket, and I'm going to ask everyone's indulgence to go to this now while we wait for Mr. Wetzel to join us again, is the two items on our agenda for 14 Washington Street. Do we have a copy of that letter handy?
Yes, I do. I'd like to read it into the record if you may.
Julie.
Sure. Ms. Murray?
I have a housekeeping question. I'm sorry, but I'm letting other people in the room. My children have been in the house due to the nor'easter and they sound like wild animals. Is that heard on my microphone? I'm trying to keep it on mute, but can you hear them?
Little bit.
Yes. Okay, thank you. I'll keep it on mute. I'm just trying to.
That's perfectly fine. Thank you.
Yeah, no,
Chair.
it's not, but I'm doing the.
No, it's great. Kids are kids. Kids are kids. Okay. I just couldn't, never mind. So,
Okay.
Mr. Krantz, would you please take care of the special
Yes.
permit?
So this is from GPR Engineering Solutions for Land and Structures to Mark Archambault, Town Planner, Town Hall Air, regarding the withdrawal of site plan approval and special permit applications 14 Washington Street Fire Station Project Air. Dear Mark, on behalf of our client, Cowfield Station LLC, we do hereby request to withdraw without prejudice the site plan approval application and special permit application for the 14 Washington Street project that are now before the planning board. We do fully expect to refile for these permits under the new owner and project configuration, and appreciate the board's willingness to allow us to withdraw without prejudice and to waive application fees for the refiling as we discussed yesterday on the phone. We also very much appreciate the planning board's continued support for this project when we come before you with our final plans to save this historic and important structure. Sincerely, Calvin R. Goldsmith, Vice President, with copies to Calvin Moore and Mark M. Gallagher.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. One of the questions I have is, do we have to take any further action on this, Mr. Archambault? Just a move to accept the letter?
Yes, a motion to accept the letter and followed by motions to close the public hearings for both the special permit and the site plan.
Okay, thank you.
Like-
Mr. Krantz, you up to it?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion for the board to accept the letter from Calvin Goldsmith that I just read into the record.
Could I just make one quick comment? The motion needs to state that the board's accepting the withdrawal without prejudice for both the special permit and the
Oh, okay.
site plan.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I'd
Heather.
like to make a motion, the board accept without prejudice the withdrawal of the site plan and the special permit for 14 Washington Street per the letter just read into the record from Calvin Goldsmith.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Diskin, was that your second?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Okay, moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
Yep, Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. King.
I just want to underscore, that last paragraph. From my position, I'm also interested in saving the structure that is there and appreciate the way we've been able to resolve this.
Thank you, Mr. King. Any further comments from the board? Hearing none. Mr. Krantz, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Ms. Murray, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye, and I'm going to add a personal comment. Thank you very much for all your patience to the board members on this one. It's been a tough year for this project. I hope we are, as you said, Mr. King, I hope we're looking at a very similar project going forward. Okay, I think we've got Mark back.
We need to make motions to close the hearing.
Close it.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing for the special permit at 14 Washington Street.
Second.
Thank you for the second, Mr. Diskin. Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Krantz, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Murray?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Mr. Krantz, please.
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing for the site plan review for 14 Washington Street.
Thank you. We have a
Second.
second. Thank you, Mr. Diskin, for seconding. Any discussion from the board? Hearing none. Mr. Krantz, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Murray?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Thank you very much. And in the nick of time, we have Mr. Wetzel back.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, sir.
No, I never got my internet back. I'm on my cell phone, so isn't technology great? So we wanted to meet with the planning board. The former school superintendent asked me to be a member of their committee for designing and constructing the new fields expansion at the high school. And so I've been working with the committee, and we have a consultant that has come up with a great design. The committee's talked about a lot of different options on how to fit all the needs into the project and into the budget. And so I suggested that we do a quick presentation to the board. We're on a fairly tight schedule to get the job out to bid early next year so that we're ready to start construction in the spring. And so I thought it'd be a good idea to present the project to the board so you know what we're talking about when you get the site plan and stormwater permit submittals. So Jonathan Charwick from Activist Consulting is here, and he's going to do a quick presentation on the scope of the project. And as always, DPW will be involved. I'll probably abstain from doing a lot of the review and let Dan take over since I am involved in the project. But you can rest assured that we're going to do this in the best interest of the town and the planning board.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wetzel. Mr. Charwick, do you need a screen share, please, sir?
Yes, please.
Through the magic of technology, can we turn that on for him, please? No?
Wait, let me see what I can do. Hold on.
Thank you.
That's screen sharing for me. I'm new.
I got it,
Okay.
Julie.
Thank you. Sorry. Cindy.
Thanks, Cindy. Mr. Charwick, there you go.
There.
Thank you.
Great. Well, good evening and thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and members of the planning board. Once again, my name is Jonathan Charwick from Activitas. We are a landscape architecture and civil engineering firm out of Dedham, Massachusetts. And we're fortunate to be continuing to work with the Ayer Shirley Regional High School on this exciting project. So very short presentation this evening. I want to talk about the existing conditions of the project area, the preliminary design, review the project schedule, and then open up to discussion. We understand that we'll be triggering site plan approval and stormwater management review. So we plan on filing that over the next few weeks. And my intent tonight is really to see if there's any questions, comments, or concerns that we can hopefully address through the site plan approval process. So the existing project area is the existing track and field and the baseball field behind the high school. This shows the proximity to the property lines along the property. So we're well we're well outside of any setbacks. So we don't believe we have any setback requirements as part of this proposed project. To talk a little bit about the existing conditions. So the existing track and field, there's a natural grass athletic field, Norton Field, in the middle of an existing 6-lane track. We'll be converting the grass field to synthetic turf and a well-needed renovation of the existing track that is well past its useful life. There is an existing press box and bleacher that are both currently closed due to non-compliance with ADA requirements. So as part of that, we'll be doing a full renovation of that area. The track and field is currently lit by 8 existing light poles. So we'll be looking to renovate the lighting of the athletic field and track. Where you see number 5 on the map, there is an existing vehicular access, mostly for maintenance and ambulance access during games to the track, which we will maintain as part of the proposed project. Where number 6 is on the map, there's an existing concessions building right now, and right next to it, number 7, an existing ticket booth. So we'll be renovating those or rebuilding those in kind. Number 8, the existing entrance to the athletic facility will be maintained in its existing location. Slight renovation due to part of the proposed renovations. We're looking at the track and field facility. And then on the baseball field, minor renovations, we're really looking to expand the outfield so we can get a larger playing surface for soccer in the fall. So right now there's an existing chain link fence backstop where you see number 9 with some team areas. Existing infield, which will remain in its current location and condition as part of the project. Number 10, we'll be looking to regrade and expand the outfield, and number 11 is an existing storage container that we'll be removing and disposing as part of the project to provide additional storage. So this next plan here is our proposed site plan, and again, I'll walk you through based on the numbers. So as part of this project, we're looking to expand the width of the field inside the track. Right now, it's extremely narrow and very hard for soccer to play. So number 1, we'll be converting the natural grass field to synthetic turf and expanding the field in its width, which actually moves the track closer toward the baseball field. Number 2, the track and field reconstruction. There's currently 6 lanes along the oval and the straightaway of the track. We're going to look to expand the straightaway to an 8-lane straightaway, and the rest of the oval will maintain 6 lanes. This is really important for high school events, trying to get the sprints, have them occur quicker if there's 8 lanes versus 6. Really helps the meets move along quicker and gets the kids home for dinner and for schoolwork sooner than if there was only the 6 lanes. Where you see number 2 and 3, so we're going to reconstruct the bleacher and the press box in its current location. Right now, we're working with about 500 proposed bleacher seats, and we'll discuss that in a moment as it relates to the restroom building and the plumbing code. And then there'll be a new elevated press box with either a lift or a ramp to provide handicap accessibility into that new press box. Number 4, there's a few new storage containers that we're going to provide a little bit nicer than the typical Connex boxes you see on site now for additional storage for athletics, for baseball, and other needs that the school may have in that area. One thing to note, a little bit different from the existing facility where it's mostly grass inside the running track. We're going to pave the areas to the north and south of the football end lines. Those are called D areas because they're shaped in a D. And that's where we're going to be able to maximize for some of the track and field events such as discus, javelin, and shot put. Number 6, as I talked about earlier, will be the location of emergency access into the facility and maintenance access if necessary. Number 5, we're showing relocation of a new support building for concessions and restrooms. To talk about restrooms for one moment, permanent bleacher seats have certain requirements through the state plumbing board for the number of restrooms. We're currently working with an architect on how we configure the number of restrooms as it relates to the bleachers. And if we need to, for some reason, need to go to the state plumbing board for a variance for any type of reduction in the required restrooms, we will file that separate from the site plan approval application. Typically, the requirements for restrooms for an athletic facility are really meant for Gillette Stadium, for Fenway, large event areas with a lot of activity. You know, it's really that the code requires a lot more restrooms than typically is required for a typical high school event, but we'll address that through the state if need be and get the approvals that are required. Number 7 is our new entrance and potentially a new ticket booth in place of the existing one. Based on budget, we may include the ticket booth in this project, or it may be at a later date, but if we think it's going to be part of the project at any point, we'll include it as part of the site plan. Number 2 is the long triple jump event that's located just north of the track and field. Because of the activities we have going on in the track and field, we need to move those just north, so they'd be located between the entry plaza into the facility and the existing parking lot. And then moving on to the baseball field. So as I noted earlier, since the field widened and the track widened, we are getting a little bit closer to the baseball field, which requires us to put a new backstop in because we're consolidating the space from home plate to the backstop. So there'll be a new backstop, semi-portable bleachers for spectator seating, and then either new dugouts or concrete pads with fencing based on what we have for available funds and what the budget looks like. If we do provide new dugouts per Title IX, we will be providing new dugouts to the softball field as well. So we're working through that as it relates to the budget. And then number 9 and 10, we're expanding the width of the soccer field, building into the existing vegetated outfield. And that will require at number 10, a modular block retaining wall to make up some of the grade in that area. The wall will range from 6 to about 13 feet from its lowest point to highest point, where we're beginning to engineer that right now. One thing I didn't know about the track and field, we will be lighting this with 4 new light poles, LED efficient light poles. So the lighting will be much more efficient than what you have right now with the existing 8 light poles out there right now. And that will basically replace the existing light poles you have as part of the project. Is there a question?
Yeah, Jonathan, will you take questions in the middle of your presentation?
I have no issue with that.
Can I ask you, from what we see on the screen, can I ask you what you anticipate as being the greatest engineering challenge of all these different components?
I don't know if there's, well, I would say from a design standpoint, the bleacher and press box providing ADA accessibility with the limited space we have between the track and the road behind us, and the existing hillside. That'll take a little bit of design effort. We have done some geotechnical investigation and have found good subsurface materials. So we do have the presence of some ledge in the baseball outfield, but the baseball field will be converted to natural grass to natural grass, and not as concerned with that. We didn't find any unsuitable materials underneath the existing track and field. So I think the renovation will be fairly straightforward. The one challenge we will have is, as part of converting the grass field to turf, we need to strip and remove all the existing topsoil down to the subsoil, subgrade material to build the synthetic turf base. So we'll generate a decent amount of existing topsoil. We're going to try to lose a lot of that where we're expanding the outfield on the baseball field, but we're going to have to figure out the most cost-effective way to try to lose that material on site or potentially lose that somewhere else for the town.
Thank you.
Sure. To talk a little bit about the timeline. So as of right now, we're almost into November. So we're currently in the process of design development and permitting, looking to do construction documents in December and probably mid-January, and then hoping to get the project out by mid-January so that early February we'll have public bids in, be able to vet those out, start pre-construction in March so that we can start construction in April. Right now, the schedule, the spring season is going to be offline so that we can start construction in April. This type of project is usually a 2-season project. So our goal is to have the track and field completed by August, mid-August, so that fall practices can begin. And then we'll finalize construction in the baseball field as the growing season for natural grass is better in the fall season. We will be sodding, which we have that advantage, but we'll have the two seasons for most of our construction. As a scheduling standpoint, I believe talking with the planning department, we're going to be shooting for November 18th to file our site plan stormwater permits. So hopefully we'll be allowed to be on the December 14th agenda to be in front of you folks at that point. And then again, as I previously mentioned, if we have to ask for a variance from the state plumbing board, we're going to try to do that early December so we can get our approvals mid-December. At this time, I would ask if Mark has any additional questions or comments, or we can open it up to the board for any other questions, comments, or concerns they may have about the project, and I will put it onto the proposed site plan to discuss.
Thank you.
No, the only comment I wanted to make was, one of the things we've been talking about is irrigation. The original plan was to try to put in an irrigation well. The problem with that is it's kind of a crapshoot. you can spend a lot of money and not find any water. So we're discussing the potential of connecting to the town water system for irrigation with some special conditions on when they can water and how much, and also some special rates, because it can be expensive. So I brought that up with the Water and Sewer Rate Committee, and I'm going to put some numbers together with Jonathan, and we'll present something to the Rate Committee and then the board, and see if they'll go along with that.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. I actually caught that part of that meeting the other day when you were discussing it with the rate meeting. If you don't mind, Mr. Charwick, I have a quick question. We're going to go from the current number of 8 lights to 4 lights.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. And when you talk about I'm just going to jump on another one. You talk about paved areas. So those are I'm not good at colors. The pink areas have the number 2 at the ends of the field. The upper ones next to it looks like I don't know, is that a javelin pit there also?
Yep.
I don't even know, a shot put pit or whatever. Yeah, shot put, discus, javelin. Okay. So they're going to be paved, same material as the track, rubberized, some sort of.
Correct. So below the track, we'll have a typical 3-inch lift of asphalt with a typical base material. And then the resilient surfacing is about a 1/2 inch thick of a rubberized surface that will go over the running track and the D areas as well. And then the same for the long and triple jump area. And then what you'll see, that the gray tone between, number 2 and the track, typical asphalt, so walkways as we enter the facility and circulate to the press box and bleacher area. And then it'll just be some traditional concrete at the entrance area with a set of stairs. And again, one thing I didn't know, on the far end of the number 7, it's an asphalt walkway that provides handicap accessibility both to the baseball spectator area and all the way into the track and field facility. So that's one of the things we're trying to address globally, is ADA accessibility throughout the site.
Thank you. Any other questions, members of the board? Mr. King, you have your hand up, I believe.
Yes. 2 questions. I'll just continue on those D sections, Jonathan. And I understand we're going to get a stormwater hearing in the future, but could you just summarize or just give us a heads up of what it looks like an increase in impervious surface between that? And I'm not familiar with the synthetic turf. So is there going to be additional water runoff, and do you have do you have any comment on that at this point?
Sure. So yeah, we certainly are increasing the amount of impervious surface. So as part of our stormwater design, which we're just starting now, underneath the synthetic turf field, they're built on at a minimum, traditionally it's an 8-inch profile of a drainage stone. So a lot of times we'll be able to use the base stone below the turf to handle detention and deal with stormwater management. If we find from our design that we need more than 8 inches, or we need to bring in some Coltex or do something different to meet the stormwater regs, we'll certainly do that. We haven't gotten to that point yet because we're still going through the existing and proposed conditions. But as far as part of the stormwater permit, that will all be laid out. Whether we make the profile under the field a little bit deeper. So maybe if we had 12 inches of stone, that would meet the regs. Maybe if we do some Coltex between the track oval and the running lane, or the D area, that might take care of it. So we're at the early stages to figure out how much detention we need to take care of, so that we're not increasing the rate of runoff whatsoever from what you have right now.
Okay, all right. And then the soccer field, I guess this would be the secondary soccer field. That retention wall, you said, has some elevations to 10 to 13 feet. Can you tell us how far it is from the edge of the soccer field to that fence, to that wall? And is there also an intent to put a fence on that wall?
Absolutely. Yep. So right now the field is 210 feet wide. I believe we have a 5-foot buffer from the sideline to the baseball field so that we don't have a tripping hazard at the infield. And then we're allowing a 10-foot buffer from the sideline to the retaining wall. And then we would have some type of guardrail, probably a chain link fence to act as that guardrail. I would suspect it's probably around the 6-foot range. I wouldn't do anything lower, 42 inches or 4 feet. I think a little bit higher would be more protection. Talking with the athletic director, he thinks 10 feet is adequate for that area. since it's going to be a painted field, if they found they needed more space, they could always paint it a little bit less wide in the following seasons. But yeah, we will certainly have plenty of fencing protecting all around essentially we'll probably have the fencing wrap all the way to the edges of the wall where it goes from, it goes to zero change in elevation.
Thank you.
Other questions? Yes, Mr. Krantz.
So I was wondering if any of the amount of land clearing and the construction of the retaining wall, does any of this effort trigger a special review by conservation?
Not that we know of. We're outside any wetland buffers from what we understand. But if there's a special condition where they need to review it as part of land clearing, I would have to find out that process. I assumed. Sorry, go ahead.
I think the land clearing is ours anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't think there's any jurisdictional
Okay,
responsibilities for the Conservation Commission.
got it.
Yeah, this would be coming under, if I'm not mistaken, section 9.62, I believe,
Yes.
off the top of my head. Sorry, guys. It's one of our new bylaw changes.
If I may have a quick question, this might actually tell us if that's applicable. Does any of the existing woodland edge need to be taken down or
That's-
trees removed in order to put that wall in?
Yeah, most likely. I don't know the exact dimension, but I'd say we're probably going into the wood line maybe about, I'd say 20 to 30 feet, somewhere in that range to expand it. So we'll certainly be clearing a swath of trees along that existing edge.
Yep.
Is that Woodland Town property?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, yep.
If I'm not mistaken, that's where the cross-country runs at this point in time in that area also. Other questions from members of the board?
I got one from Mr. Wetzel. When you look at the irrigation system, potential irrigation system, Mark, are you trying to concentrate on, let's say, areas 8 and 9, or are you anticipating trying to irrigate the whole place?
Well, let's see, since I'm on my phone, I gotta see if I can see where 8 and 9 are.
Baseball field and track.
Eight would be home plate, Mark, and 9 would be center
Okay.
field.
Well,
Yeah,
hold on.
It's primarily the baseball field.
Okay. So you wouldn't
Jonathan,
be looking at trying to run irrigation all the way around the green areas around the front and sides, and just primarily the big lawn area and where the baseball and soccer practice field is.
Right.
Okay.
Correct. Yep. And I believe so. It'll be the baseball field gets irrigation, and I believe there will be a donation to irrigate the softball field as well. So that will be done, I believe, outside of this project. But the work we do to confirm the water service will assume irrigating both of those fields at the end of all the projects.
Thank
Okay.
you very much. Mr. Chadwick, if you don't mind me asking, I don't know where the softball field is, but I'm going to assume it's somewhere down third base line.
Correct. I'll go back 2 slides so you can see right outside the bubble, the softball
Yep.
field is just northeast of the project area.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Deep left field.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. And Mark, do you intend to irrigate the entire or just the infield and baseline?
well, it's really it's up to the Jonathan on their design, how they want to design the irrigation. Primarily, I'm working with them on what the numbers are going to be and when we could do it. Do we want to put restrictions on what hours or how much time, or it's going to have to be a state-of-the-art system so that we really conserve as much water as possible. But
The intent would be for us to irrigate basically any of the area for baseball and softball, and then the soccer field as well. So any of the landscape areas around the track and field, let's say, between the track and the parking lot on the road, I think those will just be loamed and seeded without irrigation. The primary focus will be the actual athletic surfaces themselves will get the irrigation.
Yeah, thank you. In a past life, and I'm sure you do this because you do it professionally. I was in my past town. I was involved with boosters, and we actually came up with a field sharing on our turf fields in order to take the high traffic off of the grass areas in the times of year when it was hard to keep them irrigated. So
Yeah,
I'm
the
sure.
synthetic turf field will certainly help use. I know right now they don't use Norton Field that much because it's natural grass, so they only play games. They don't necessarily do practices. So I think the intent here, the turf field will certainly get a lot more use, which will also take some of the use off the outfield of baseball. So the condition of the baseball field hopefully will improve by that. And I know they don't do a lot of lacrosse play on campus. They go elsewhere. So bringing lacrosse back on campus will be a huge benefit for the school as well.
Thank you. And one other question is, I'm assuming, and this is a sheer assumption, and if it's incorrect, please let me know. Do other groups in town use these facilities besides the school? Younger children, we called second soccer in the town I came from. Very, very prolific soccer league. Starts out in second grade. That's why they call it second soccer. I don't know, will they be using these facilities also? Or I don't know where they play these days.
Yeah, I believe right now a lot of the use is really the high school, again, because of the natural grass fields and their conditions with overuse. They try to limit the use. I know this summer or during the summers, there's camps that occur in the baseball field. So I would assume, without speaking for the school, that with this in fact turf field, they'll be able to provide a lot more use, which might bring some of the outside groups in. But I believe, trying to think about a year or so ago when we were looking at the uses, I believe most of the use is school oriented, whether it be through organized sports, PE, band practices, and things like that.
Yeah, and if I'm not, I go by Devon's on the weekends all the time, and they seem to be overrun with soccer players, and also the other school out there, out on Front Street. Okay, thank you. Other questions from members of the board about this project? And I know I don't have to mention this, Mr. Wetzel and Mr. Charwick, but we're going to be, our DPW is going to be real busy in November and December. And one of the things we'll be talking about later this evening is a project putting together the plan for a project that's coming to us over December, January, which will also be pulling on some bandwidth at the DPW. So see, Mark, I even say that to most people, by the way.
Yeah, and we're short some people right now, so hopefully we'll be staffed up by the time this stuff starts rolling in.
Yeah, have you had any response to the town engineer position?
We got one response.
No,
Who
hope
actually
for more.
looks pretty qualified.
Good. Well, it's a great place to work if you're listening. Okay, any other questions on this from members of the board? Are you willing to take any questions from the public on this, Mr. Charwick?
Certainly.
Anybody who is in the meeting from the public have any questions, please? No one's unmuted themselves or let me know, so I think we're probably in great shape. Look forward to getting the next piece from you guys. Thank you very much for bringing this to us this evening.
Great, thank you very much.
And so, and best of luck with keeping it on course for getting it done. It's a big project. I know it will be. The town will love having it. I know that. So thank you very much.
Yeah, the high school project is a great addition to the community, and doing this field will really top it off. So you can see in the 10 years I've been in Ayer, the school has really improved, and it's really made a big difference in the community.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And good evening, gentlemen.
Thank you. Do you want me to stick around, or are you all set?
I don't know. I don't know of anything that is absolutely germane to what I don't know if there's anything that you need to be here for, Mark. I will tell you that your phone is freezing.
Yeah, okay. Didn't look like there was anything on the agenda.
No, there isn't. I don't think at this point. I was going to say,
right.
You're very staccato. Your phone is freezing and unfreezing. So
yeah, not surprised. Okay.
I thought Reading had great infrastructure.
Well, I don't think it's the power. The power blinked, but I think it's the Comcast.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Good evening. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
Next on our list, if I haven't missed anything, is the town planner update.
Okay, several things. Regarding Stratton Hill Public Communications, we received a letter from Philip Gray and Annie Reed, who live, I believe, on Wright Road.
Wachusett Ave East.
No, Wachusett Avenue East, yes. And they sent me and members of the board a 5-page letter with quite a few comments and many questions about the process and some of their concerns about the Stratton Hill subdivision. And in thinking about how best to respond to their questions, I thought I would try to set up a phone call with them to go through the list of their questions. I think that would be the most efficient use of time, and we would be able to cover more in the way of, I think, discussion than if I tried to write a reply. So I believe that was sent to the entire planning board. If not, we can do that.
It was, I received a copy as from your office saying, thank you.
Yes. And yeah, it's a very long letter, so I don't think it would take probably 20 minutes to read into the record, but we can certainly take that up, their concerns up, of course, on December 14th when we reopen the public hearing.
Yeah, if I may, I believe the letter came to us with the expectation that we would be picking up Stratton Hill at this meeting. We had not yet received the request to move forward, to move the next meeting forward.
Right.
So, yeah.
And that's correct. And I put a little notice on the Stratton Hill document page for the planning board on the town's website, stating that the active part of the public hearing will resume on December 14th. So hopefully that word gets out.
Yes. And I'm going to, excuse me for interrupting you at this point in time. I did have an opportunity to speak with the town manager's office today, and they are going to put in place a process by which documents that come in about Stratton Hill and other large projects will be made available as soon as possible on the town website.
Right.
They're putting, I hadn't had a chance to tell anybody on the board this, but in talking to the Sentinellas today, they're coming up with a strategy for making these documents as they come in available to people as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Yes, as well as sharing, the packet, just like the select board, I should say, receive, their packet is public on the website. Eventually, all the public boards and commissions will have the same treatment.
Thank you. Mr. Diskin and Ms. Murray have both had comments.
Go ahead, Julie.
Mine's just a brief one, ironically, actually. Mark, if you need support on just, I guess, or we should discuss as a board, as much as it's very kind of you to offer a personal phone call back to answer questions, at some point you only have so much time in your work life. So if we're managing expectations of how responsive we are to people, please let us know if we can help, or if we need to be setting the precedent that the conversations happen at our meetings. But I appreciate you responding to them, and if you need help, let me know.
Sure, I will, and thanks very much for the offer. But yeah, I think I can handle at least the first volley of replies. So, I think that will go well. But another issue that their letter raises to me is I think we need to start thinking about, in addition to the traffic consultant that we would like to retain to review the applicant's traffic study and make sure that all our concerns are covered. I think it would also be worth setting time at a meeting in November to discuss additional consultants who could assist us with many of the questions that Annie and Bill raised.
That the board would have.
That the board would have, exactly, as well as the abutters. And I think, without getting into a lot of detail, because I think we should put this on our agenda so that members of the public who would like to partake of that, but, for instance, environmental consultants, the issue of blasting has come up, of course, engineering and the effects of the bedrock removal on groundwater flows. All of these questions, I think, are pertinent. And I think we should set aside, a few minutes at one of the meetings coming up in November to discuss this.
And I think if to follow up on this, we had discussed this before. I don't recall if we discussed it as a board or Mark, we discussed this in a meeting, in a face-to-face or phone conversation. we may be in a situation with the town having just had the change at the DPW that they may need stormwater assistance. And one of the conversations was to work with the new superintendent to find out who he may recommend to help with stormwater
Yes,
calculations and get that lined up. Because
Yes.
we would like to get the best we can possibly get.
yes, definitely. And I think if we start a robust discussion about this in November, then I will have direction so that by the time we resume the public meeting on December 14th, we'll have, if not the consultants in place, at least they'll be in place soon.
Mhm.
So I think that would be very, very good.
Mark,
And yes,
just one comment on the questions that we get and letters. I'm not like Jeff. I don't have the headings memorized in our bylaws.
Mhm.
So if you could,
I got lucky once, Nathan. I got lucky once.
if it's at all possible, I don't need the total chapter and verse copied, but
Mhm.
boy, if you could say this references or see section XYZ,
Okay.
that would, I think, help to guide the discussions and make an efficient use of our time, both in and out of the meeting.
Okay, so whenever questions come up or something in writing from me, I can say, see section 8, A or something. Okay.
Yeah, and then know if it's a bylaw or a
Regulation. Yeah.
Yes,
And then we'll check with Mr. Diskin to make sure there's not something somewhere else in the bylaw we should be seeing about driveways.
Right.
When
Yeah,
you get-
that's,
Mr. Diskin has a point also, Mark. I think you're looking down. I see his finger up.
Oh, wait, are you done, Mark? Or-
yeah, on this issue for now, yes.
I'd like
Yeah.
to start with the letter, and I'm all on board with Mark responding to any information in the letter that's easily answered from information that's readily available from our town resources currently, and whatever background he might have. And then if we receive communication like that, then breaking it down so that the items that need to come to the board are the ones that are left over. So that the items that can be handled in the planner's office should be handled professionally by the planner.
Yeah.
If there's an item that's unresolved by the planner or cannot be resolved by the planner, those items, of course, would come to the planning board. And then we would have a chance to focus on what is the important issue that's left from a long list of potential questions that might be, 80% might be answered by Mark, something along those lines.
Right,
Agreed.
and that's a very good point, because, just in glancing through their letter, there are definitely things that I can easily answer. And there are technical questions that they ask, which we might not have an answer to until we have the consultants or the engineers look at this.
Right, so-
Agreed. I also think there's a section of the letter that probably has more to do with another committee here in town,
Has to do with what, excuse me?
the conservation.
Correct. So that
Correct, yep.
the next part of it was on the consulting aspect. As you are aware, in the past, we typically have worked with the Conservation Commission and shared consulting activities with both boards. So inevitably, the same questions are going to come up before both boards. And we would vet the consultant that would work best to answer questions for both boards. They are going before, as we heard in the letter from the attorney, that they're going before conservation. So the conservation meetings are going to handle the discussion on the conservation analysis. And then conservation will give us their recommendation on the analysis, which we all have got copies of anyway to look at. So I appreciate that effort by Mark to handle those kinds of concerns that can be handled right through his office. On the posting of information or documents, I'd like you to define more what a document is. I don't think necessarily everything that's received in communication should be considered a document to be posted on the website. So I'd like to have a chance to look at what goes up on the website before it's arbitrarily posted on the website as a document. I want to carefully consider documents to be items of particular concern that are technical enough to receive that kind of website announcement, rather than everything that might be received in the office. That's my
Right,
own
that's,
opinion. So that's, you guys can talk about it, on your
oh,
own.
that's a very good point. I think it may be serve me well to discuss that with Carly as well, what her expectation is for documents.
Right. So
Get your input.
when I hear the word document, I consider it to be more of a legal connection to the project and have a real, basis for its, the technology, the technical aspect to
Right.
of the document or its connection to the project, rather than
Yes,
just questions of that may or may not come up that can be answered by the office. So my own,
right. Yep, very good point, Ken.
Thank you. Anything else, Mark, on your update?
No, that'll keep me busy for a little bit.
That's all you've been doing?
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Well,
I thought Ken may want to mention that, the issue of the light industrial lot size.
I wasn't gonna let that go.
No, okay, good. Well, Ken might want to describe how he resolved that issue, but
are you asking me to comment now? Is that?
Yes,
Right.
please.
oh,
Okay, so we received a communication from an abutter who had done a little research on the background of projects on Fitchburg Road. And in that communication was a letter from David Ross Associates, which we read. And it just shows that the history of that light industrial district in our town was always a 20,000 square foot minimum lot from. And we pretty much know now that there's a typographical error in the chart that we have associated with the zoning bylaw, that the real lot size has always been 20,000 square feet for light industrial, and somehow it got typed at 120,000 square feet in the current chart. So the next step is, as a board, and I'm going to interject something that I heard, is that how do we get this resolved? And I was given a note from Charlie Schultz, or a hint from Charlie Schultz, the zoning enforcement officer, that he started thinking about this, and he does agree that the 20 is the right number. Just mentioned that to me. And that 20,000 square feet. And it might be as easy to get it resolved as the planning board or a representative drafting a letter to the Attorney General. And so far as the Attorney General, as we know, is the one who approved the zoning, the regulations from our town meeting and all the zoning bylaws, and explaining just in simple terms, the history of the incident, and that it was in fact a typographical error. And we don't have to go to a town meeting or anything else. We could just query the Attorney General with a simple letter with explanation and request that they agree with us, and that would give us authority to change that table and take the one off and get it back to 20,000. So the language lines up with the table. So that's my suggestion, that we draft a letter and work on it in that regard.
right. And if the AG is unwilling to give their opinion on such, then, we may need to go to town meeting.
Town meeting. So, I'm just trying to get it resolved in a method that might make
Right,
sense.
yeah, let's start with the
No,
easiest.
there seemed, I was actually part of the conversation, it was during the site walk at McDonald's, the pre-meeting at McDonald's, when Mr. Schultz brought this forward. And he said it's not a common, but not an uncommon thing to have happen.
Right.
And I can only imagine back in 2000, Ken, when this was written, that there was a Xerox copy made of something that had a line on it. It was that simple,
Yeah, it's
and it was
one of those-
translated forward.
Oh.
So,
That's
okay. So Mark, you might want to reach out to Charlie and ask if he has a format for that, or you might want to talk to your planner friends, see if there's a format for writing a letter to the
Right.
Attorney General's office that
Yeah.
makes it easy on their end also, and easy on you. And if you need help, by all means, let me know.
Okay, good, yep.
Okay. Anything else under announcements, Mark, for this evening?
No, we set the site visit for Monday, so we'll put a notice out about that. Once we get through the stormy weather, we may want to resume our periodic site visits to the projects that have received approvals recently. Perhaps Catania or one of the subdivisions, like Shaker Mill Pond. But yeah, I'll look into that once we get into November.
Little editorial comment. I saw the not Caltex, but the underground corrugated aluminum pipes over there. Those are massive.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
amazing. It's amazing what they're doing over there.
They just backfilled the first set of pipes.
They're moving quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm amazed how little impact they've had on the traffic in that area.
Mhm.
Because I go through there on a bike, I go through there in a car all the time. And I know, Nathan, you're over there a lot. But no, they were delivered not that long ago. And as you said, they started backfilling them in. So they're running that project very, very, very tight. So if you get a chance to drive by and look over the guardrail, there's some pretty massive corrugated aluminum pipes over there. Mark, I would ask if you wouldn't add to I have a quick agenda, and I'm going to old and new business right now.
Yes.
Meeting minutes from October 12th are not available. Heather let me know last week it was going to be a challenge to get them. The office has been very, very busy, and so we'll get those minutes for the next meeting, and that's perfectly fine. I started looking at, I can't find, talking about short-term rentals. The letter we got a few meetings back about short-term rentals here in town and the impact they have. I have not yet found a really good town like Ayer that's doing anything in the short-term rentals. So, but I will have I'll take a few minutes at our next meeting if I can and catch you all up and get you some stuff between now and then. Anything else on old business on anybody's minds?
Yes. Remember at the last meeting, I mentioned that Glenn Eaton of the MRPC would like to talk to us about his organization. And I was thinking, would November be a good time to invite him, before we have to deal with Stratton Hill in December? What do you think?
Yeah, I think my recommendation would be to go to the second meeting in November.
Okay.
Yeah, since we might be trying to wrap up 99 Fitchburg Road at the first meeting on the 9th.
So the second meeting is the 23rd or something?
It's a Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Yes.
Right.
I can float it, right?
If you do, why don't you ask him to, if it's okay with you, Mark, why don't we give him an actual time on the agenda
Yes.
so that everyone knows what's going on. So Jonathan, if it's okay with Mark and Heather, why don't we ask him to be available at 6:20 to do a piece for us?
Okay.
We'll get him right up in the beginning and appreciate his time, if that will work for him.
I will send him an email
Yeah.
first thing tomorrow morning suggesting our meeting Tuesday, November 23rd, and the 6:20 spot on the agenda.
And we'll try and get him in as quickly as possible. And if he has any materials he wants us to kind of just flip through before he gets here, it helps out a lot.
May have the high school fields on that meeting, given back how they described tonight. So if 99 Fitchburg Road gets carried over to the second meeting of November, you will have those two site plans. It's going to be my
I appreciate
guess.
that, Heather. I appreciate that, but I think we can set his expectation now and adjust it later, as opposed to inviting him to a 6:15 meeting and having.
Yeah, I just wanted to let everyone know that there's
Yeah.
probably going to be on that meeting on the 23rd, be those two site plans.
Okay. Well, anyway, no, because I understand MRPC people are often traveling around doing a lot of things. Excuse me, Ms. Withy, do you have your hand up?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to put.
I'm sorry, we can't hear you.
Okay.
You're now muted. Well, Sarah, if you have anything to add, please unmute yourself and speak up. Anything else under new business on the board members' minds? Or old or new business? Mr. Diskin, you look like something occurred to you? No?
I got a
Everyone
quick,
just moved again on my screen, so.
Quick
ahead.
up on the Aho development off of Jago Road. You may have noticed it, Jeff, that he's finishing up the sewer force main
Mhm.
directional drilling project up the Snake Hill Road right now. So could have been done today. I'm not sure what the weather it got done today, but sections that are
Wow.
installed. So it can't be more than a few days that he's away from getting building permits.
Fantastic. No, last I knew about that was last week, and I didn't know that he had gotten his design approved at that point by the DPW. So it
Yeah.
sounds like
They're
that was
putting it-
all,
Sections are done already, and they opened up the manhole at the top of the street, and there's a trench there, and you can see the machines going up the road. So
fantastic.
can't be
Okay,
long for that to be done.
good. Because, okay, great. So we should start seeing more activity over on Shaken Mill Pond.
Right.
Okay, great. Anything else? Hearing nothing else, take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. Do we have a second?
Second,
I love that they're not debatable. And I can't say all in favor. Mr. Krantz, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Murray, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. King?
aye.
And the chair votes aye by saying good night all, and thank you very much for what you've done the last 2 weeks.